All right, let's talk king tides. We got a supermoon as well. That's going to drive the coastal flood risk up. This is going to last for a couple of days. Now, Charleston, South Carolina is one of the cities that could see some of those waters go well up above the normal line, especially during high tide. And this is what it looked like a few years ago when they saw some flooding from king tides. Miami Beach, Savannah, Myrtle Beach, you could also be on alert. So let's talk more about king tides. They happen at different times of the year for different locations, West Coast and East Coast. Right now, through about the 12th, we're going to see them along the eastern coast, the southeastern coast. You'll notice we have 2.9+ million Americans under flood warnings, coastal flood warnings. We go into the coastal flood advisory, you add on another 5.3. The beach and the surf conditions are rough out there, 7.2 million Americans watching it there. But watch what happens. And then highlighted in green here, by the way, is the St. Johns River. The St. Johns River, we got a live shot of some of these cameras here, one at the St. Johns River. The St. Johns River is one of the few rivers in the country that flows from south to north. Now, we've got onshore wind, sending water from the Atlantic down into the river. The river's trying to let the water out, but it's having a hard time because of all of that wind coming through, plus the king tides. So having said that, where does the water go? Nowhere. It has to just stick around the lower lying areas. New Smyrna Beach, Florida, temperatures into the 70s. You're going to be dealing with more in the way of that constant onshore push and rain. King tides happen whenever we've got a full moon or a new moon, and when the sun, the moon, and the earth are all in alignment. When that happens, you get an extra gravitational pull. That's going to pull all of the water and make those tides higher than we normally would see those. It's almost like you've got a slingshot and you kind of hold on to it and the energy just goes out and then it bounces back towards you. Kind of what's happening here. So right now, the moon is closest to the earth, perigee. Having said that, the moon is even going to appear larger when you look up in the night sky, no matter where you live. It's going to look bigger and brighter. Of course, it's not. It's the same size. It's just a lot closer to the earth right now. Now, Charleston, the greatest risk for some high tide and coastal flooding is going to go throughout the day, especially during your high tides. We're talking about the numbers going up to 4 to 5 feet above the normal ground. Major concern, because we saw that go up about 3.8 to 4 with Imelda. So even bigger effects now. Miami, same story for you. And when we're talking about this, we're talking about not just the coast, but because all of that water keeps pushing into the rivers and the inlets, that's going to be a concern for you as well. When we look at Charleston, South Carolina, consistent onshore push, that in itself would be a problem for flooding. But take a look at this. As we go through the higher tide at 8:01 today and 8:23 tomorrow morning, tonight, that's the time to watch for some of those higher tides and coastal flooding. If you live close to one of those areas that floods during this type of event, get your car to higher ground to be prepared for some localized flooding.